Welcome, adventurers, to a long overdue session. The last session of the first chapter of the official campaign. So we'll see how this goes. When last we left our heroes, they were recovering from a grand and spontaneous party that started in Essen's inn and was later moved on to the ruins because why the fuck not? And yeah, you lads are, you were just talking with Essen, right? And Arakel was fuming about the reckless behavior of, well, everybody involved in the party. And to which Essen replied, you know, laddie, sometimes everybody needs to chill out and relax. And that's essentially where we stopped, is it?
The adventurers spent the rest of the day resting. Garvin, Norlus, and Bolan moved the newly discovered altar of the One around the hamlet until they find the perfect spot for it. Arakel, on the other hand, spends his day training and avoids his companions. The following day, Essen tells the adventurers that he has received troubling news.
After waking up and having a meal in the inn, right, you saw that Essen was speaking to some of the dragonkin, right, and you saw that he was worried after speaking with the dragonkin. And after that, he approached you when he asked if you have some time. There has been a development, and he needs to talk to you about it. He sits down at the table that you are eating, and he starts talking. My friends, I have some bad news. My dragonkin scouts have informed me that a few days from the hamlet, they have seen invaders from the Nosmer Empire. I think they are the same ones that you spoke of before. They found an abandoned outpost close to the shore, west of this location. And they seem to have settled in the outpost. And they seem to be gathering something. The scouts saw wooden crates around the outpost and carried by the Nosmer. I feel very uneasy having them so close to the hamlet.
The adventurers proceed to discuss how to handle the situation. They first think of involving the Iron Bull's mercenary company, but in the end decide to first go and scout the area themselves before they approach the Iron Bulls. While talking with Essen, Ratak overhears this conversation and asks to be allowed to accompany the adventurers. After some back and forth, Essen agrees that it would do the lassie some good to travel around the island, if only for a few days. He makes the adventurers promise him that they will take good care of her and avoid doing anything stupid, to which the adventurers agree. Essen then assigns one of the scouts that saw the outpost to lead the group to it. While traveling to the outpost, Rataka spent her time gathering alchemical herbs for the Filzar alchemist and talking to the adventurers about their pasts. The scout managed to hunt a deer, and Rataka was the one to prepare the meat for the group. Just before reaching the outpost, Garvin had a dream in which he was back in Filzar in his room inside Essen's inn and was attacked by someone while sleeping in his bed. The rest of the group dismissed the dream. Upon arriving near the outpost, the adventurers saw that a Nosmer ship was docked near it. The goblin Verbat, being so close to the shiny, became impatient and tried to enter the outpost, but was stopped by Garvin. After discussing it amongst themselves, the group was at an impasse. No decision as to who would try and search the outpost could be reached. The goblin Verbat was the obvious choice, but the adventurers did not trust him. They feared that he would try and steal the shiny again, alerting the Nosmer to their presence. It was then that Rataka decided to speak with the goblin.
She goes down on one knee, right, to Verbat down, and Rataka tells Verbat, little goblin, you like me, don't you? And he's like, and you like my food? And he's like, yummy, yummy, yummy. And she says, would you ever do harm to me? And Verbat is like, no, never, goblin good, no, never. And she says, if you go over there and you steal something that you shouldn't, or do something stupid, I will be hurt, right? You know that. And he's like, but go. Okay. All right. I not take shiny. And then she asks, do you promise? And he says, I promise. And then she gets back up and looks at you and she says, that is good enough for me. You realize that this travel has done her good and that she has opened quite a bit. And you just now, right, you couldn't see it before because she was always so introverted. She was always looking at the floor, well, you know, and always like afraid. You now realize just how intelligent, highly intelligent this woman, this girl actually is, right? Especially for her age.
Verbert sneaks into the outpost, but does not return for 3 excruciatingly long hours. Upon his return, he tells the adventurers what he found. His discoveries leave the adventurers both worried and puzzled.
He comes to you, right? And he says, ooh, no good. Ooh, many bad humies. Some sleep, many no sleep. Many go, many take big wood thingies and many thingies inside wood thingies. And then he shows you his hand, right? And you look his hand and you can't really see in the darkness, right? But Bolan, you know the smell. You're an alchemist. Saltram.
Verbert proceeds to poorly explain that there are multiple boxes filled with saltram inside the outpost. In addition to this, some of the wooden boxes contain items of dwarven-made arms and armaments, similar to what the adventurers found inside the ruins underneath Filzar. For a moment, the adventurers forget about their promise to Essen, and numerous crazy ideas of how to deal with the Nosma suddenly pop into their heads, each more reckless and suicidal than the last. Yet, before they actually proceeded in realizing any of these, the adventurers remember their promise not to do anything stupid and decided to return to Filzar first and report back their findings to Essen. The journey back to the hamlet was, once again, uneventful. The group spoke some more to Retica, who confided within the adventurers that she misses her father deeply. Upon being asked what happened to him, she replied that he was a kind father and a loyal soldier that spoke out against the caste system and was killed for it. Back in Filzar, the adventurers return back to the inn and find Bathrend of the Ecclestrium there, waiting for them.
As you go in, as you open the door, right, and you go in, he sees all of you, and he approaches slowly, the two of you, and he stands half a meter away, and he just looks, and he's looking at Arakald and then looking at Bolan, right? And after a while, he takes a step, right, and he puts one of his hand on the chest of one of you, and his other hand on your Bolan on your shoulders, right? And he says, "Praise be the one. It is good to see you, lads. It is good to see you live." You're asking what happened and whatever, right? And he tells you, "Like you, I was shipwrecked. Unlike you, I shipwrecked. The tide... I'm not exactly sure what happened. I know that I awoke alone. I don't know where I was. And I started traveling. And after a while, after too much, I stumbled on a dragonkin city. And, well, luckily for me, I speak Draconic. I managed to gain entry and explain who I was, and unfortunately did not end up in Resix, but in Visnia. And while there, I did not know what happened with you. So I started... And then he looks around, right? And then he lowers his voice and continues on. I started doing my mission. And the real reason for why we are here. I know that you had orders to assist the Void Breakers. And this fine lad here, and he points at Essen, tells me that things did not go as planned.
Upon saying that, the whole adventuring group starts bickering amongst themselves. Oracle attacks Bolan and Olos for their behavior that got them thrown out of Razax, while Garvin once again blames the two of them for losing his place amongst the Voidbreakers. Bolan, on the other hand, stands his ground and insists that he did nothing wrong. Exposing the lies of the Dragonkin was a righteous thing, and he feels no remorse. Once the adventurers finish bickering, Bathrand continues.
He says, looking at Bolan, Brother, while I do respect the favor and the zeal that you have shown, you must understand that there is more to this mission than you know. You two were sent to accompany Kael'ren for a reason. Kael'ren is an ally of the Ecclestrium only in name. Do you understand? He owes us a great deal of favors, and that is why he is here, and that is why you were assisting him. In truth, you were sent to keep an eye on him, while I did what we were here supposed to do truly. The real mission would have been shared with you when the time came, and judging by your actions, I am glad that the details were not shared sooner.
Realizing that vital information has been kept from him, Bolan angrily protests and turns his back to Barthrand. Barthrand rebukes the young cleric, showing him the error of his ways.
Is that how a cleric of the Ecclestrium now acts? You turn your back to your superior, to your father? I know what you're thinking, Bolan. You're thinking that I should have shared the info with you sooner. But you know that it was not my decision. You know this. It is easy to be angry. It is easy to think that you are right. Show some humility, brother. Now come back here. We are not through.
Barthrand continues on to explain that he knew 1 month before their departure that the whole island they now stand on was ancestral land of the ancient dwarves, and that before the Breakening it was not an island at all, but a part of the Artarius continent. The dwarves of Hadrima have been relentlessly digging up parts of Hadrima that was buried underneath the Cranked Mountain as a result of the Breakening. Recently, they had discovered sacred texts that indicate that the island they now stand on houses the cure to the taint.
This island here is more important than any of us. It houses the key to the cure of the taint. Have you noticed during your travels on the island that there is no taint on it? Do you think that that is a coincidence? That the rest of Everon suffers under this blight, except this small island? This is a very, very delicate operation. The Ecclestrium has many enemies, and our enemies would deny us our birthright. They would deny us
The cure. You know what I speak of. The agents of chaos. The other factions. Liars. Thieves. Murderers. They will take it from us if we allow it. I understand, Bolan, that you find it difficult to get past, that not everything was shared with you. But understand this, brother, not everything is shared with me either. But we are all servants of the One, and servants of the Ecclestrium. It is our duty, our destiny, to serve and to do whatever we can for those that hold the keys to our salvation. There can never be truly hope or proper peace on Everon until we rid ourselves of the blight that is detained. Even now, before we went, I have heard strange rumors that the undead are rising once again to the east, within the kingdom of Abendon. The discussion moves on from the taint to other, equally worrisome events. Barthrand explains to the adventurers just how dire the current situation that the Ecclestrium and the dwarves of Hadrimar find themselves in is. The Ezrium mines of Hadrimar are empty. This means that the Ecclestrium no longer has a reliable means of producing more clerics and paladins. This is the main reason why they are involved in the currently ongoing Ezrium Wars. It is also the main reason why the Ecclestrium needs all of its allies, including the dragonkin. This is why antagonizing the dragonkin is a big no-no for the time being. The adventurers continue on talking with Barthrand, and the issue of the ruins underneath Filzar is raised. Barthrand tells the adventurers that he has a plan for the ruins and the hamlet of Filzar, and that if things go well, this entire area of the island could soon come underneath the diplomatic protection of Hadrimar. But such an endeavor will require time and coin. Hopeful about the future, the adventurers finally go to bed. And then it happens. Because of all that happened recently, right, and all the uneasiness and everything, right, it is a light sleep. You're nervous, right? And Garvin, as you're lying in your bed, right, and fighting with sleep or not, you suddenly again have that feeling like a blade is pressed on your throat, right? And again you wake up almost like screaming. As you are woken, you see a figure in your room within the darkness, and as he was going towards you, right, that's when Garvin woke up and started shouting and woke you up. The person inside is suddenly startled. Oracle, you get out of bed, but Garvin is more ready because he was more uneasy and he does have the weapon with him. So Garvin rushes at his opponent. Garvin, give me an attack roll. Okay, so that is a miss. And the character parries you, yeah. Regains his composure quickly and parries you at the same time. Garvin is ill-prepared to fight this foe. With a quick and singularly powerful blow, the mysterious figure stabs Garvin in the heart. The venom from his blade seeps into the body of Garvin, and he falls to the ground. Aracald rushes towards the intruder, but he avoids him completely. Aracald smashes through the doors of his room into the hallway. At the same time, another figure is located inside the room where Orlos and Bolan are staying. At the same time, in the other room, with Bolan and Orlos, right? Yeah. Bolan, you suddenly hear the screeching of your baby griffin, which instantly wakes you up. He was sleeping under the blanket with you. You wake up, right, and you see a figure in the darkness, and you see the baby griffin holding the hand that he had the dagger with. He is about half a meter away from you. He's swearing, and the baby griffin, who is
clawing and biting at his hand, which he has the dagger with.
Olos is the first one to react inside this room. Like Arakald, he tries to rush his opponent, and like Arakald, he smashes through the doors of his room into the hallway and sees Arakald there. Another failure. Bolan, quickly realizing that he is no match for the physical capabilities and evasiveness of this mysterious character, does the first thing that pops into his mind. He casts Heaven's Judgment on his assailant. The character stumbles a bit back, shocked at the power of the spell that was thrown at him. He drops a smoke pellet on the floor, quickly filling the room with smoke. By the time Orlos gets back into the room, the mysterious assailant is gone. Arakald rushes back into his room and sees no one inside. The windows of his room are, however, open. He uses his Sacred Steps spell to manifest on the ground outside the inn, hoping to pursue his attacker, but is instantly knocked unconscious by the other assailant who jumped on top of him from the window of Bolan's room. In the smoke, Bolan manages to find the body of his baby griffin. The Heaven's Judgment spell that he threw on his attacker also affected the poor baby griffin.
You're looking at the baby griffin and he is not showing any signs of life. You cast Revive, but nothing happens. You know that Revive works only on humanoids. You cast it again. You refuse to believe, right? You literally cast it again. But nothing happens. You stand with the baby griffin there on the hallway in your hands, and you know what happened. The assassin tried to kill you, but before he could put his dagger into your heart, throat, or whatever, right? The baby griffin heard him. The baby griffin woke up, and just before the assassin could kill you, the baby griffin bit his hand, right? And that's when you woke up. You know that the little fella essentially saved your life. You go into the other room and you see Garvan is lying on the floor, and you see a clear stab wound that he has right under his armpit. From the smell and from the wound itself, you know that he has venom inside him.
Bolan, using his last resource points, heals some of Garvan's wounds. Worried that neither Essen nor Barthrand have left their room after all the ruckus, they go to Essen's room and find the doors slightly open.
You go to the room where Essen is located. You find Essen and Barthrand in their beds. You check them, and you see that they are gone. They are dead. You find wounds similar to that Garvan sustained on their necks. Suddenly, Rataka opens the door from her room because she is also woken by all the shouting and everything that happened. And she goes out on the hallway and she looks at everything and she's confused what is happening, and she sees you that you are all awoken, and she sees smoke coming from Bolan's room. And then she sees that room where Essen and the Barthrand are in, and she rushes inside the room. And she sees them lying in the bed. You hug her, and through tears you start explaining that they are gone. And she breaks down and starts crying, and she refuses to accept this. She tries to get away and tries to break free from your hug. You hold her tight and tell her that she should not be seeing this. You take her out of the room.
Olos goes out to search for Arakald and finds him on the street. They check up on the goblin Verbat, who was sleeping in the stables, and find him alive and well. Everyone goes back to Essen's room. There, Bolan asks the group to help him carry the bodies of Essen and Barthrand onto the altar of the One discovered within the ruins underneath Filzar. They place their bodies on the altar and start praying. Each of the adventurers pledges something for their return. Bolan puts each of his hands onto the bodies of Essen and Barthrand respectfully.
Bolan holds out both of his hands while touching both of their bodies, right, with one of each hands on the altar. And this goes on for about 5 minutes. Suddenly, the ground beneath you starts shaking. The mountains that surround the hamlet of Filzar start shaking and start giving in. Parts of the mountains start falling. You hear whispers and voices coming from underneath the hamlet. Suddenly, Bolan's hands start glowing in a blue light. Bolan suddenly feels a surge of power unlike anything he has felt before. And when everything is said and done, Essen and Bathrand stand up from the altar. And that is where we will end the session. And this is where we will end the first chapter of our official campaign. We hope that everybody had a great time during the holidays. We will see what we're gonna do next. We are thinking of switching up the next chapter from Tabletop Simulator to Talespire. We will see how this will go. We are unsure when we will continue, but you can be sure that we will be back within a month or two. Be patient with us, and until next time, Godspeed, adventurers.